Going on, people? Nathan Ellington here. It's Duke's United show, and you're watching Let's Talk United. And I'm joined by the ever-present Garth Lewis. How you doing, Garth?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. Man United are winning, so everything's right in my life at the moment.
All good, all good, all good. And below me is Hakeem as well. Welcome on the show again, Hakeem. How are you feeling today?
I am feeling absolutely fantastic. We are back to criticising players even when we're winning. That's got to be positive.
It's been such a long time since we've been able to do this. And it's so good, isn't it? It's this light-hearted criticism now. It's not like angry criticism. So, you know what? I'm happy. But look, we've got a lot to talk about today. And we've got a big weekend coming up as well. So let's start with the first person that's on everyone's lips at the moment. Obviously, Weghorst, okay? I think that's how you say his name.
Easy for you to say, mate. Easy for you to say.
He joins on loan. He's on his way over for his medical, and he's going to be joining us and signing up. Now, I had the privilege of going on straight for Paddock and having a chat with them about this. So I'm not going to start first. I'm going to chat to you, Garth, first, and I'm going to come to you, Hakeem, after. Garth, what are you thinking of this guy? And what do you think he can bring to United and to help us?
I think initially, like a lot of people, I was very dubious considering what I saw of him at Burnley. That's all I'd seen of him, to be fair. Done a bit of research on the fella. This is the type of striker that Ten Hag wants. So we've got to let him cook, basically. You know what I mean? This is what he wants. This is the player he's been looking at. You go through the ones, the names, Haller, Arnautovic, you know what I mean? Every striker he's been linked with, apart from Felix, has pretty much been this over 6'2", 6'3", back to goal target man. So listen, if it works for the system, I'm going to be very happy. I know there's a lot of fans now become like me, and we're very accepting of it. It's a loan for 6 months. It's a stopgap. I'm happy with it, man. We need reinforcements in that area. Martial can't hold the line on his own. You know 100%. What I mean? And hopefully it will have the same sort of effect that this sort of thing does on Luke Shaw, which will really raise Martial's game, having someone behind him ready to take his spot. So yeah, cheap fee, 2.5 mil, 6 month loan. I'm not grumbling at all. I'm quite happy with it, to be fair now.
Okay. Well, Hakeem, have you seen any highlights of him? Do you think he can add anything to our game? Do you think it will complement the players that we've got, especially the wide men being able to supply him? That's one of the things I was thinking. Do you think that that's going to happen and it's going to help us get to our third spot in the league? Maybe that's the highest possible position that we probably all agree on that we can get to this year. Do you think we can get there if we add him, or do we still need more?
I think, you always need more, but I think that, as Garth said, I think everybody was underwhelmed when you heard it. You think, oh my God, it's almost like that Agallo signing where you think, oh, what on earth are you getting in for? And then Agallo was banging goals in the Europa League, wasn't he? So I think it's one of those. I think what I like about Weghorst is his hold-up play. He can hold up the ball. He's actually got an eye for goal. He doesn't score that many, but Martial doesn't score any at the moment. So anything is going to give us probably a few more goals than that. And I think he's a perfect foil for someone like Rashford, because he gives them something to worry about that is very different. Because the way we play at the moment with Martial and Antony and Rashford is we're running at them. If we lose the ball, we get caught out. So having somebody who can actually hold the ball up, having someone in the box who can actually head the ball, and also what I always think about is, however big he is and however much of a lump people think he is, he's Dutch. And I'm yet to see a Dutch player who can't play football. Even, what's that guy, Dirk Kuyt? He was bobbins, but the man could still run.
What am I talking about?
No, Dirk Kuyt was
Dirk Kuyt was right side for Liverpool,
yeah. So he didn't like. He wasn't an exciting player to watch, but he held the ball up. He could control the ball and he'd lay it off. And I said, you can't be a professional footballer playing international football and be that bad. So as Garth said, I trust Ten Hag. Ten Hag's got a system. He's got a way of playing, and that guy fits in at this stage. And I think it will benefit us rather than harm us.
You know what? Most of what you said was pretty bang on, but one of the things you said, you kind of took it there with Martial. Like, listen, one thing you can do is hold the ball up. That's what he can do. So apart from scoring goals in his head, I agree with you there. But in terms of his hold-up play, it's pretty good. And again, like you see the chance that he had, try to remember what happened before that. All of the hold-up play before that and the link-up play and him getting in the box, that was great play. Ball right out wide to can't remember who it was on the right, and he's gone right in the box and got in the box and should have scored. But the thing is, everyone doesn't think about it. Well, because he missed, you're talking about his hold-up play not being good. I don't get it. Like,
I didn't actually say. I didn't say his hold-up play wasn't good. I said that
someone who actually hold up the ball. You said.
Yeah, I did. And when I compared him to Martial, I was talking about the goals. I said he has a knife to go, but he doesn't score that many. And I said, well, Martial hasn't scored any in the last few games. So
yes,
so I'm not. The issue is not Martial's hold-up play. To me, he's not in the same category as Pogba. I think he's a lazy player because if the ball is not right to him, he's not going to get it. If it's to him, he'll hold it up. If it's like 5 yards to the left, he's not running for it. If it's 5 yards to the right, he's not running for it. And he doesn't close down as much as he should do. I just think he's a lazy player. He wants everything to be perfect for him to perform. And football isn't about everything being perfect. That's my issue with Martial. He's got all the talent in the world. He just doesn't use it.
Yeah, that's why he's not an out-and-out proper striker, is he? And that's where you get the issues where the things that he's missing from his game. But we are joined by Alex as well. She's joined us, finally.
Hello. Hi.
We're actually...
I was listening to you, Hakeem. I'm going to say that I hate that trope of lazy player. I don't think he's lazy. I think he's just not fit right now. That is it.
Oh,
how long can we say that Martial's not fit? How long is that? How long are we using that excuse? That excuse we've been using for 3 years now. He ain't fit enough to be playing full. I agree with Hakeem. Yeah. Lazy may be the wrong word, but he doesn't put enough effort in. He really doesn't.
He looks like he doesn't. I think you both.
I think. Remember before when he was saying about how he was playing through injuries and Ole made him play. So I think, listen, Ole did a lot of damage to these players. Like, look at Rashford. I think that these things have lingering effects. That's what I think. I'm not on the Martial train right now. I've got a toxic relationship with him. He's a good player, but he's not scoring the goals that we need right now, and that's it.
100%.
He ain't scored in a little while, but we all get back on the goal scoring trail. I'm quite sure.
To be honest, Nick, I have the disappointment of most United fans. I've never been on the Martial train because I've always thought he underperformed right from the. Even when he broke in, he had a few good games, scored a few good goals. But what I'm saying about him, and whether lazy is the right term, he's never run around and close people down. And I think he's always been a player. If the ball's a few yards away from him, he doesn't go and press. You see Rashford.
What's happened there?
What's happened?
His nose froze. I think nose froze. Keep going.
I'm so confused. It says Weghorst, but talking about Martial. What did I mean?
Well, I was talking about Weghorst.
Comparing,
I said he doesn't. I said he's not clinical. I said, but he's got an eye for goal. I said, but to be fair, I said Martial doesn't score. So, and then unfortunately, Nathan got very upset because he's, I think Martial's his long lost brother.
Honestly, I love this guy so much.
Listen, it's my son that loves him so much. I think he's a good player, but it's not. We need more. I think we do need more. But I do recognise the things he does well, and I recognise the things he don't do well. So that's what it is. But look, we've got some comments here. We've got a comment from Andy G saying Weghorst has some of the best pressing stats in the game. No brainer for Eric Ten Hag, seeing as we're skint. So it just means we're already top of that tree. Skint as well. We are top of the tree in terms of I think it's called the pressing stats. We are top of that. There's no one better than us. And that's crazy because I would have thought, the teams that are known for all of that, like City pressing after they lose the ball and Liverpool, they've lost that now. They ain't got that status at the moment. We've got it. We're number one in that field. And hopefully we can take that into the derby, which we'll talk about later. But anyway, Alex, we've asked the others about Weghorst. I want to ask you, have you seen any more of him? Have you done any more research? What are you thinking about him?
Yeah, do you know when I heard that he was going to be a potential striker at United, I was like, I don't hate that idea. I think when I used to watch him play at Wolfsburg, so I love the Bundesliga. I watch it every week, and I think he would, you know, not a standout player, but the one thing I always notice is that he always like scores when he's in the box. So I think that is what like a striker does, and I think that's what we're missing. So he adds a different option for us. He's someone, I guess, that can come off the bench. I think most people probably recently saw his performance at the World Cup when he came on and he scored one of those really creative free kicks. It's something he's done at Wolfsburg before as well. So he can add, I think, to our just attacking as well. I think one of the things that I've noticed that he does is that he's able to like pick up the ball when it's in the opposition's third and then turn that into an attack. And I think he's going to be useful for our team moving forward, especially our fullbacks, because, you know, when they're at the moment, they don't have a player like that they can just like, you know, Luke Shaw's like free kicks are just, he's not being able to utilize that because he can't, because there's no one in there that can like get on the end of it. I mean, Harry Maguire's not going to get up that far to get on the end of it. He's not really been playing. Varane can't. So I think that that's going to be something that's going to be really amazing to see, because at the moment they're like cutting back and then, you know, they're having to play those type of balls and then it's out, the defenders are there. So it all gets a bit tangled and messy in the final third for us. So I think that element is going to be pretty exciting to see. And I'm just really interested and looking forward to seeing his like how he links up with Rashford and how he links up with Antony when he does get the minutes. I think he's not going to start every game. He's probably going to come on and start, I don't know, we play another FA Cup game or we play in Europa League and stuff like that. I don't think he's going to start every single game because I don't think that I don't think he'll be useful for every game. But yeah, it's nice to have that different dimension and an ability to change the game. And I love the fact that he's 6'6". I mean, listen, that's going to make a difference in terms of those long limbs, you know, coming in and doing sliding tackles, getting those balls like right in there and scoring little tap-ins or whatever. I just think, yeah, I'm excited, as you can see. I'm very, very excited. And also, another thing to notice is that most of his goals come from the box. I think I've said, might have mentioned that. So it's just what we need. We need that person who can just like get in there and just score a goal. That's what Martial's lacking, I think you were saying earlier.
Well, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to just quickly talk about them after this comment. Lee Williams says, hopefully he will add to our corners and free kicks goal ratio. We have a few tall players, but not that offensively minded. Exactly what I was just thinking now. I was going to mention my point on this. One of the points that I really want to bring home here is he's going to add a new dimension to our game, because when we're under pressure and we need to clear the ball, we might even now be able to win a header and get Rashford in off a flick on. And that's another type of chance that we've never been able to do because we don't have a player who can just play it up to. I remember when I was at Wigan, we had Lee McCulloch on the left. And every goal kick, we went towards Lee McCulloch. So he won everything. And then we played from there. Now, if he wasn't playing, we wouldn't be able to play to him. It would be probably to me. I'd try and win it. But then I wouldn't be on the other end of it. So we'll lose a bit of ability to score more goals. So I think we'll have more ability there. And also, I think it's going to bring something more to other people's game, because we'll start seeing proper crosses now. I know Cristiano was there before and we didn't seem to be able to supply him in the air. But I feel like it's going to be a bit different because Falk is a bit more mobile than Cristiano Ronaldo.
Has Ten Hag ever played a system where he's pumping crosses in though? Because obviously we've seen Antony. No. He's not crossing the ball in from the right ever. Rashford doesn't cross either from the left. So I it's going to be corners and stuff is what we're going to be looking at. I still don't think you're going to see wingers bomb down to the byline, Nathan, and cut balls into the box for him.
I'm talking about an in-swinger from Antony from now on. I think that's where he gets crosses. Where when you open up backwards and then you do the in-swinger, defenders can't stop that because you're going away from goal. It opens everything up. And I think that's where he's going to get his joy from, and where we're going to be like, right, he doesn't need to go down the line now. He can open up in-swing for the striker and also open up and try and score himself. I think that's what we should be expecting from him. And to be fair, leads me on to the next person we're talking about anyway. We are talking about, one thing, is Antony the real deal? Because I like him. I do like him. I've mentioned it.
Do you?
I've been fine. Yes, I do. I do like him. But you know what the problem was? I'll tell you now. Yeah, I'll go first. The problem was I was expecting something different. I was expecting different attributes. And now I'm realizing, wait a minute, they ain't the attributes that we've got. We ain't bought them attributes. We bought different attributes. So I need to realign myself with what we've bought and what I can see now and what I expect from him game by game. I expect him to be a live wire, a hard-working right midfield, right, whatever you want to call him, right winger, works back, helps, and he has got that come inside that shot. That's what I can expect from him, and that's it. And I know it's good enough because if you leave him open, he will score one of them kind of goals. I can't expect anything else from him. So that's me. I'm going to change my thoughts on him until I see more, and that's all I'm going to say. But Garth, you tell me what you're thinking of this guy. Obviously, he's good, but is he long term at United on that right every week?
I mean, you're chopping that question down bit by bit, ain't you? It started with, is he good enough? Now it's, is he good enough?
All that means is he going to be playing for us every week.
I mean, but no player. I can't say he's going to play for us week in, week out at Man United. We've got 5 great wingers in this team. We've got Sancho, Garnacho, Rashford, Antony, and Pellistri and Dalot in the reserves as well.
Who plays on the right?
Well, yeah, but I mean, Sancho. I've seen Rashford play on the right. I've seen Rashford play on the right. Pellistri plays on the right. Dalot plays on the right. So yeah, there are a number of options.
Ahead of him, right? So,
but we got into it deep on the post match, didn't we? And I said then, listen, I think it's far too soon to giving him any kind of criticism like this. Really, to be fair to you, Nate, I think you've been very harsh with him. As I said, I understand where you're coming from. I agree. I want to see more from him. I do want to see more from him.
What's harsh?
I mean, we're not going to go through the whole WhatsApp thing again, mate. You know,
did I say that was harsh?
I'll tell you what's harsh, mate. I'll tell you what's harsh, Dave. You compared him to Nani and said Nani is a far superior player to him, and that to me is nonsense.
Attributes are better, way better. 100%.
I don't agree with you. Yeah, I don't agree with you, mate.
Okay, who's better, weak foot?
Nani.
Nani. I'll give you. Yeah, that weak foot.
Who's better, strong foot?
I'd say Antony, mate. I saw Antony score more. Antony scored more goals. He scored more goals already than Nani did in his first season. In 15 games.
You're not comparing Nani and Antony to when they're 22 years old. You're comparing Nani when he was more of a complete player when he was like, 26, 27. I think it's ridiculous.
Alex, I wasn't comparing his performances. I was comparing the attributes of a player. That's it. It's not about did he play well in this game or
were you watching Nani when he was 22? Were you watching Nani when he was 22 years old? And
when he was 22, he still had a left foot, had a right foot, could still hit free kicks, could still hit shots from long, could still take on a man. He could still do that. It's how he used it is a bit different. Like Cristiano, he always had them same attributes, but then he honed them in and they became efficient. That's the only difference. He didn't not have attributes. The reason why we bought Cristiano was because he had all those attributes. And then you have to work
Cristiano, mate. That's Cristiano, no.
But also on that though, Nathan, because I think sometimes it's very easy to look back when you've seen what a player's done and then talk about their attributes. Because I sat in the stands on Ronaldo's debut, and I was about the only one who was excited about him. Everybody was pelting him for months. He's useless. He's a show pony. Why have we bought? Yeah, I was sitting in the stands. Why is he here? Why have you gone back to take him? Oh, bloody hell, what a waste of time. He's got no end product, was the thing that you say. Absolutely no end product. Even some of the teammates, what's his name, Van Nistelrooy, Keane used to scream at him about him not having end product. So we can look back on Ronaldo now, but when he came, and in his first few games, and I, you know, Antony frustrates me because I think he can do more, but he is 22 and he's played not even half a season. I think it's quite difficult to come from one league. If you take Sancho, which we know what talking about, I think Sancho's better than Antony if he's in Dortmund form. But Sancho has completely fallen apart. And then you've got Antony who's come from a different league, never played here, doesn't come from here, you're away from home. And then, you know, at the end of the day, he scored 2 in 2. And then we're sort of like saying, oh, well, yeah, he's not good enough to play for Man United. But he scored 2 in 2, though, hasn't he?
I haven't said
that's my point. It's my point.
He's not good enough. I haven't.
Come back to the Nani comparison, Nath. The only thing I think you've got on Nani is that Nani had 2 feet. I think Antony's just as good a player in every other run. He's as fast as him. Antony's rapid with the ball at his feet. So I don't get where all of a sudden it's been like he scored 5 goals in 15 games for Man United with 2 assists. What more do you actually want from him? What more do you want from him the way he's playing in this system? Apart from taking on a man and bombing it down the line, which I keep coming back to, what's the point when we've got no one in the area?
My point is he's got to be able, if he's one-on-one with his player and he's a player that takes on people, take him on, innit? That's it.
But why? Why is he going down the line? Why is he going to the byline if there's no one in the box?
But who said to go to the byline? You take your man on and make something happen. You cut back. What does Mahrez do? He doesn't go on the line and cross it in. He takes his man on, fakes, cuts in, does different things. He has more to his game. All Antony has is the cutting at the moment, and it's still being effective. But that's all he's doing at the moment. You tell me he's doing something else. What else is he doing on the ball?
He's doing stuff. He's got ball security. I think that the problem here is that what you need to understand is the type of player that he is. Like you said in the beginning, when you were introing this, you were saying, I expect. It's like you're like what you would want as a winger, what you think he should do. It's not what he's doing, because that's not what he does. That's what I just said to you at the beginning. That's what I expected, because I saw what he did at Ajax. I thought he would do the same thing. If you know what he does at Ajax, you can see that he's actually doing those things at Ajax. And also, what you have to understand, he's been in this league for 4 months, right? A month of that, he was off in the World Cup, playing in a different team, different squad, different circumstances. It's like, I don't understand why he doesn't get a chance. Like, he's a person that he needs to have runners around him. He doesn't really have that right now, because it's not the system that necessarily he's used to working under Erik ten Hag for Ajax. It's a different league. Everyone bangs on about how the Prem is fast, the Prem is this. So if we know that, why are we not ready to give this person a bit of a chance to adjust, to work with his teammates, to find a rhythm, to get it? He's doing well so far. He's scoring the goals. And I get why you could say he's a one-trick pony or whatever, because, you know, he's got the same sort of movements where he'll cut inside or he'll score the goal in that particular corner. I get all those things, but he's still only 22. And it's like, I think we're just really being harsh on someone who has come from another league and is actually doing well enough. I've seen him run at defenders. I've seen him do all these things that you say he's not doing. It's just, if you're looking for it, you'll see it. But if you're not, you won't find it.
I'm looking for it. I'm looking for it. But anyway, I can't keep talking. Hakeem, go on. You can complete your rant on me. Go on. Go on.
I didn't realise you were so sensitive, Nathan. No.
I don't mind. I just say what I'm saying.
No. I mean, because Antony, I just love players who run at people. And so Antony frustrates me, because I think he actually has got the talent to go whether left or right. Because I refuse to believe that a professional footballer can't use the right foot at all. So the issue for me with Antony is that I think he's a good player, actually, and I think 4 months is far too early to start seriously criticising anybody. But I think if I was a defender, I'd be happier playing against him than someone like Rashford, because Rashford, and I'm just talking about Rashford type of player, because Rashford will go left, he'll go right, he'll cut in, he'll do different things. So he's more unpredictable. Whereas Antony, I'm pretty confident he's never going to go outside me. So it just makes my job as a defender easier, which then means that actually it's harder to break teams down, because you think because like when what was it last week against what's it called? Everton, yeah. You could all the time. Dalot was given the width, and then if Dalot didn't go there, there's always a big corner of space, which actually, even if you're not doing anything, if you're just running into it, you're committing players. But because Antony's never going to do it at this moment, it then just makes it easier for the defence, because they're thinking, well, I don't have to think about going down there because he's never going to go there. That's my only point. I think I'm quite confident he'll come good. I'm quite confident that Ten Hag knows what he's doing with him and knows what he wants to do with him. But yeah, as a fan, I just think, there's bits he can do more. But to be honest, I just think, well, as Garth said, 5 goals as a winger, if you call him a winger, in 15 games, 2 assists. You know, to be honest, I think this is the great thing about Man United at the moment. 3 years ago, we'd be salivating over someone with 5 goals and 2 assists. We'd be saying, oh, he's a world beater. He should be worth 200 million. He needs to play every game. It shows how far we've come that we actually can criticise a player like him.
No, this is my point, though. I'm saying he's done well. Scoring 5 goals in this amount of games is still good. And also, the assist is too good. And also, if you were to replicate what he's done and do that again, he'd have 10 goals at the end of the season. It's still good. My point in the matter is, I would expect him to be in the levels above from what I can see, what his ability had. The ability that he shows that he's got, the output would have to be a bit more for me, because I can see that he's got much more in his game. He's got much more to give, basically, and that's what it is. But before you carry on, let me just go through some of these comments, because I've got a few people talking here. Seeing City's performance yesterday, Jinwei says, I fully believe that City want to get all the cups out of the way to challenge for the title. Oh, they're going about it the wrong way. Weghorst has play at the derby. Maybe he will. I think he'll probably be on the bench. Andy G says, but people used to say same about Salah. Show him on his right, but he's all left foot and produces every week. But that's what I mean. He takes you down the right and takes you down the left. And he's only 1 foot. It doesn't matter. Can still do it. Lee Williams says, the price tag isn't Antony's fault. That's down to incompetence of the of those allegedly negotiating. I bet it does play on his mind at the moment. He will be fine. And Jesse from Stoke says Weghorst is fit and scoring goals. Play him.
You see, no, I disagree. That last one, Jesse, I disagree with that. I don't think you throw in a new signing against Man City in the Manchester derby straight away. I think me and Alex were talking about it. You put him on the bench, 70 minutes. If we're struggling for a goal, you bring him on to. Because otherwise, like I said, there's only 2 outcomes from that unless we beat Man City, which is he has an awful game and we're all like, see, I told you. You can see it on Twitter already. He's a Burnley reject. Man United are too big for him. He can't do it at this club. You know, or he scores and he does all right. But it's more likely going to be the other way round because we're playing Man City at the end of the day. So, yeah. I'll have him on the bench, bring him on. But I think it's looking likely that he won't be in time because we've got to get the deal done by 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. And the paperwork still ain't signed or everything. So...
Yeah, but we'll see. We've still got City to talk about a bit later, so I don't want to mention too much. So, Booker Degree 49 says, saw you on Paddock the other day. Good vibes from you, man.
Yeah, solid show.
Thank you. Right, we're on to number 3. If you don't got anything more to say to kill me,
you're being harsh, Nate. You're too harsh, mate.
He's really taking it to heart, haven't he?
I like him. I still like him. I want to see him.
He's never seen me disagree with him before. That's what it is, man. He's never seen me disagree with him before.
Listen, I want to see him in the starting lineup. I still like him. I just want to see more. Sorry about it. But anyway, let's move on. Can Pellistri join the rotation after what we saw the other day? So. Because he looks a lot better than some of the players that have been playing every week, coming on and getting their little cameos. That cameo was a proper performance from what I could see. And I'm thinking, you know what? While Sancho's not there, please let Pellistri come on for Antony when he takes off Antony. So we've got still got the right wing and stuff going forward. Alex, you talk to me. You look like you got something to say.
Do I? Yeah, do you know what? I was super impressed. I think I saw bits of him in pre-season and I was like, okay. And I know he's not had the best kind of couple of years, going on loans and thinking he's going to start. And, obviously the situation with Ole and everything was not ideal. But I was so impressed. I mean, imagine getting an assist on your debut. I mean, I just found myself thinking, wow, he's done so much in that short space of time that we were hoping Elanga was going to do in all the months he's been there. So I think that it's good that like you say, we've got so many amazing wingers and forwards. It's wow, we're rich with good players right now. So I'm hoping that he gets his start because he's 20 now, is he? Or 20?
Yeah, 21.
So he's fresh.
Yeah, we've had him 2.5 years. We've had him 2.5 years, mate. That was his debut. We've had him 2.5 years. He's not played a minute for us.
It's
mad.
That's just.
But I think that he took his chance. He stepped up and took his chance, and that's all you can really do when you get your start. And I think he more than deserves to be, on the bench and someone who can come off. I think he's going to be someone who's going to be able to affect the games for us as well. So it's just going to be exciting to see how Ten Hag integrates him into our team, moving forward throughout this season. But lovely option for us, especially while my JS25 is not around at the minute. So I'm happy.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Garth, he's been talking about him for a while. I wanted to see him because I've seen him playing for Argentina. Was it? No, it's Uruguay.
Uruguay.
Yeah, there's similar kind of kit, so I get mixed up with the two. But yeah, I've seen him playing with Cavani, isn't it? With Cavani, he set up Cavani for that goal that time. For Prosper, I don't know what cup it was in, but I know he set up Cavani. Maybe it was a friendly. But Garth, I know you've been banging on about getting him some chances to be seen. I was banging on about another guy who's at Sunderland at the moment, who's ripping it up. This guy, he seems to look like the real deal for me. What do you think, Carl?
I mean, first and foremost, let's just get out there. I mean, it's what a stat he's got at the moment. 6 minutes as a Man United player, 1 assist. Retire with that one, I'll retire on that, mate. No, I'm not going back. I'm done, mate. So, obviously, anyone's been watching the show for a while. I didn't even want us to sign Antony because we've got Dallo and Pellistri. I don't understand what we've been doing with these two kids for the last 2.5 years. They are both supreme talents, and I will go as far as to say they are both on the same level as Garnacho. Honestly, they really are as that level of youth talent. I don't understand what we've been doing with them. It's madness to me. The same reason why I didn't want Gakpo. You know, like I don't understand why we need all these wingers when we've got these kids there. Pellistri, I think he's gone. Unless we can get this contract signed before the end of the season, the teams will already be sniffing around him. So I'm devastated with that because I've always said he's going to be a great player. Everyone's always said he's going to be a great player. I mean, why we haven't, I don't know. Same with Dalot, I don't know what's going on with it. It's more incompetence from Man United, in my opinion. It's one of these. I find this a lot in football. There's always the grass is greener on the like. We need another player in, and he's like, you're not even tested these boys properly yet. Yeah, but I'm bored with them now. We signed him 2 years ago. I'm bored with it. I need something fresh. I need something new. And it's like, So listen, in my mind, I wouldn't sign another winger for 2 years. I would bring Dalot and Pellistri straight into the first team to compete with Sancho, with Antony, with the rest of the boys, and I would go all out. Say again?
Diallo.
Yeah, Diallo. Yeah, I'm saying Dalot. Sorry, say Diallo. Is it Diallo or is Dalot? I mean Dalot. Anyway, the fella at Sunderland. Yeah, listen, the one we signed for £36 million. Remember? Yeah. Like 30 something million pounds. Pellistri was £11 million. You know what I mean? It's like it came back. We've got nearly £50 million worth of talent there, and we're probably going to lose both of them. So I'm very disappointed it's taken this long to see him. I think he's the real deal. I really do.
Okay, well, Hakeem, before we start, let's carry on to a few more comments here. Says apparently João Felix is starting today. This Chelsea boy's killing us here. You know, he knows we love João Felix and we wanted him. And he's saying he's starting tonight. Thanks for letting me know. I'm going to watch him tonight. I don't think he's at the right place. Chelsea's not the place for strikers, mate. He should have come to us. But anyway, Lee Williams says, Elanga out. Pellistri is as a bench option. He is a full international in semi-decent side, but he didn't pull up trees at Alaves. Okay, and Andy G United says, I was at the game and Pellistri was quick and decisive like he was against Liverpool pre-season. Play him instead of Elanga. I totally agree with both those comments. Hakeem, can you add to that, please?
I think it was the question. The question is, can Pellistri join the rotation? Simple answer, yes. I think he definitely should be on the bench, well ahead of Elanga. I mean, I like Elanga because he runs around a lot, but he's not very effective. Whereas Pellistri runs around a lot and is effective. So it's pretty much a simple answer. Just as Garth said, we're getting some players in that've got loads of talent, and then we don't play them, and then we then start looking for people to replace them, and then the areas where we have massive holes, we then stick Fred and McTominay for decades. It's like it's just really weird. We have got quality talent on the wings, and we need to sign off because you know most clubs would be delighted with what we've got around the outside. And now what we're building in the middle, actually. So we're actually building a decent team. But I think, the likes of Elanga have had loads of opportunities. So I can't remember who it was who said, oh, well, Pellistri didn't pull up any trees at Alaves. Well, Elanga's not pulled up any trees with us, but he's still getting loads of game time. So I did think Pellistri in the Elanga role in terms of the amount of minutes he's getting.
Well, Steve K says Pellistri is massively appreciated at Man United, and Ten Hag sounds to me like he's part of the process going forward. You know what? I'm just happy that the players that Solskjaer's brought in, both of them seem to be like they're going to be a success. Like I've always said, remember last year when I was mentioning Ahmed being on my right at the start of the season because what I could see in him, and this is what I'm seeing. Like, okay, in the Championship, but he's doing the same kind of thing with the same kind of movement. He just looks like. It's too good. He's too good for that level at the moment. It just looks like he lures people in, moves quick, and it's just nice, amazing football for me. I just see it and I'm like, I need to see that in United. I need to see him come back to United maybe next year and hopefully start being in the rotation for next year. But anyway, we've got a wealth now. We've got Garnacho, like you said, and too many. We've got too many. We've got more than two in each position now. So I'm really, really happy with that.
I've just understand that, Nathan. I think people are very, they've got very short memories because United was an absolute mess. If you're a young player coming into that changing room where even experienced players aren't doing it, I think to start saying, oh, well, Diallo hasn't done what he should have done, and, you know, Pellistri, just imagine as an 18-year-old coming into that changing room. You know, you've got people like Paul Pogba. I'm not saying anything about Paul Pogba particularly, but you know, he's a big personality and he's not doing it. He's playing every game. You know,
Yeah.
the atmosphere around the club is not right for young players to come in and thrive, or wasn't until
Yeah. You're right.
It's fair.
It's not the breeding ground. It's not the breeding ground for young players, and now it really is. It's like you can bring in a Mainu and let him get his game time in and around Casemiro and an Eriksen. You can let that happen now because they are going to feed you the ball with quality. And you're not going to be fighting people for the ball. You're going to get the chance to actually bed into the side. So I'm loving that. But Alex, I've got this next point here, number 4. We'll start with you anyway. So we've heard that there's a bit of Lindelof and Aaron Wan-Bissaka loan interest. Lindelof, I think we've rejected the loan offer from Atleti Madrid. And Aaron Wan-Bissaka looks to maybe going on loan to Wolves or maybe even signing. Do you think it's the right time to get rid of any of these people, considering the squad that we've got? Because anyway, I'm not going to say what I think. Alex, what do you think?
Definitely not. No, we're not in a position to, unless we're going to like loan another right back now, then no, I don't think it's worthwhile. I think Aaron Wan-Bissaka is really playing better than I've seen him play in a long time. So why would we let him go to Wolves and play when we need a right back just in case? Because like Dallo went off the other day injured. I know it was a caution, but we what would we have then? We're gonna have Luke Shaw doing that as well. Like I just think let's just keep what we have because I don't think it's a sensible thing. And even with Lindelof, I don't think that's a good idea. I mean, we can't rely on having Harry Maguire. It's just not going to work. We need those two just because it gives us a bit of balance. Okay?
Can we not say him on loan? No? Can we say Maguire on loan instead?
No. I mean, we need all of them. Like this is a long season. This is a tough season. It's a tough league. We're in 4 competitions. You know, I don't know about these other English clubs, but my club's in 4. So what we need is players.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
So we need players who are going to be able to withstand that. We need the depth in our squad, so we can't afford to get rid of any of them. I'm sorry. If we want the clear out to happen, it's going to have to happen in the summer when it's relaxed. We finished our season. We're done. We can't afford to lose them right now. And I think that Aaron Wan-Bissaka is going to be crucial to us, especially like playing Europa League, stuff like that. Like give Dallo a bit of a break, you know. So no, we can't afford to lose any of those two.
Well, I'll throw another name in the mix because we are somehow rumoured. I like this player as well, to be fair. We're rumoured to be going after Walker Peters at right back. I like him. I think he's quite good. I don't think he's what we want and what we need. I'd rather still stick with what we've got. But I seen him yesterday playing again. So yeah, I don't know whether it's on loan or to buy.
No,
but,
it's not. It's a transfer they're looking at.
Oh my god!
Yeah, he looks like a decent right back. He's been looking like that when he's at Tottenham and here at Southampton. But yeah, he's not obviously decent enough to be the levels that we want. But again, we are somehow linked to him. So I wonder what that means.
It's just United. We're linked to everyone. Yeah. We're linked with everybody. I mean, you know, next they're going to say.
Is there any truth in it, Steve? Steve can let us know if there's truth in it. We'll see. But Lee Williams says, wish United had a strike option similar to Nave had at Bristol Rovers, Curtin Roberts, and Bobby Zamora.
Jamie Curtin. That's a name I heard in a while.
Yeah, so me and Bobby were behind Jamie Curtin and Jason Roberts. And obviously that's like 2 players of that level and 2 players of that level ahead. It was really good. So yeah, that was a striking kind of a striker's, what do you want to call it, factory. Steve K says United still would let Aaron Wan-Bissaka go if suitable offer came along, but up to yet there hasn't been one. I can't believe we'd even think about it. If we haven't got many options in these areas. How the hell could we even think of getting rid of these? Unless you've got someone in line, as soon as he goes, like, listen, call him quickly, we're going to get him in. He's going. There's no chance none of these defenders can go because we ain't got enough there. We ain't got enough. Hakeem, your face was a bit like, so let me know what you're talking about. What you're thinking.
Well, I was talking about Walker Peters. I mean, Walker Peters. I mean, come on. I mean, if a half decent job in right back, he's not the sort of person that's going to make any significant difference to a team such as Man United. Now, if you ask me this at the end of the season, I'd say most definitely Lindelof and Wan-Bissaka at the current moment are not up to the levels that we need them to be. Yeah, and if you're saying, all right, they're going to go on loan, and we've got ready-made replacements, we're going to be better than them to come in, then you'd say, all right, fair enough, that's worth a conversation. But even then, you know, you've got Aaron Wan-Bissaka probably playing his best football in years, and actually Lindelof, who I remember when you were around our house about 6 years ago, everyone was slagging off Lindelof, and he's playing much better football than then. So it's like Ten Hag has basically got them playing the best football they played for ages. And now we said, oh, well, let's get rid of them. When, as Alex said, we're in 4 competitions. You're going to get injuries. People are going to get fatigued. Dallow's not going to have consistent form. You need to have options. And I'm just like, if you get rid of Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Dallow got injured, who would you play? You'd have nobody.
You have to put Malassi there again, don't you? And I don't really want to
Brandon Williams in it. Brandon Williams can play right back as well, but.
No.
But I'd go as far as saying, look, Brandon Williams is as good as Carl Walker-Peters. I think it's madness being linked with him. It's mad. Carl Walker-Peters, mate, I watched him quite a bit, mate. He is like, Hakim's his job in. I'd go as average at best, mate. Average at best. He's all right.
Yeah.
He's nothing like Brandon. Brandon's like not the best at all, to be fair.
Brandon did really well at Norwich, man. Brandon Williams is a very maligned player. He's a right back, left back, and he's the sort of player that a team that wins titles is built on. Someone who only needs to play 5 games a season. He won't throw his toys out the Prem, and he can do a job for us when needed, man. He's a very maligned player, Brandon Williams.
You know what, Garth? I've got like recent memory of the friendly that we had against that team that's bottom of the Spanish league, and he was so poor. And I was like,
do you remember how bad was Aaron Wan-Bissaka, mate? Aaron Wan-Bissaka was awful.
Both bad, yeah, they were both bad, to be fair. And they come back from injury, so I can't really use that. It's just that's at the forefront of my mind. I'm like, oh no.
But can I ask a question on Brandon Williams? Because, and I don't know because when he first broke into the team, I thought he looked quality. He looked really good.
He did.
And then all of a sudden, so you don't lose your ability, do you? So if that ability is there, something must have happened. Okay. Surely.
One thing he did do is jump into challenge all the time, and he got faked all over the place. So I didn't like that, but everything else about his game, I was having.
But I think there were moments where he was a little bit reckless. I think a couple of games. Yeah, that was just my
he did do all right.
But yeah, back to the original
he did do all right.
But if we're gonna get like, listen, if someone comes in with £50 million bid for Aaron Wan-Bissaka, then yes, we've got to start discussing it. But to get rid of him now, it's madness in my mind. And to bring Carl Walker-Peters as a replacement, nonsense talk in my mind. Lindelof, the year we signed him was UEFA Defender of the Year. Like people, again, he's another player. People forget he was really unlucky to be paired with Maguire and so was Maguire unlucky to be in that team, which was so bad for 2 years. And so now every player's tainted. Maguire, Lindelof, all of that back line's tainted. Sure, he's broken out of it now, but they've still got that stench of that year and a half on them. We could have made...
So he's not really... Yeah, could have made 10 million.
We've also still got Alex Telles as well. So, like...
Yeah, he's out on loan, isn't it? Yeah, well, we've got the youngsters as well. What's the one at Preston North End, the Spaniard? Because he's decent as well, fullback. Was it Alvaro Fernandez? Yeah. He's a decent little fullback as well. Listen, I'd sell Aaron Wan-Bissaka if the real decent offer come in, but otherwise, no. He's a good player. He's far better than any option I think we could bring in as a replacement for him in the January transfer window. Same with Lindelof. I mean, who do you go out and get as a centre-back if you get rid of Lindelof?
I'm keeping them both. I'm keeping them both.
All day.
Players that can do a job for you whenever they need to play. And I think Wan-Bissaka is even very close to Dalot. In overall, it's close. In terms of if you want to go defense versus attack, I think one's better than the other defensively, and the other one's better than the other attacking. So to be fair, pretty much of a muchness on that one. But look, we have the 5th point of the day, and it's a big one because it's a big Saturday. 12:30 kickoff. It's a madness going on this week. And is the city going to be red or is it going to be blue?
Always red.
Am I confident? I'm not so confident. Even though they're not playing well, I've got to say this is the best time to play City because they're not on it. They're definitely not on it. They've come back from the World Cup and they're not the same at the moment, but you know what they're like in it. They might just choose this game to come back and destroy the place. But Alex, how are you feeling ahead of this game? Are you feeling confident because we're winning games and we can just go and steamroll these as well? Or do you think, you know what, beware, it's City still?
I mean, there's a few things. I think that it's a derby game that these players are going to be well up for. I think that City had everyone fooled when they beat Chelsea because Chelsea are trash. So at the moment, they're not playing well. I'm sorry, but that 4-0 win was not like, oh wow, like that was not great. And then this whole thing with Southampton yesterday, I mean, yeah, like, oh my gosh, shock, like they lost 2-0. But it happens, like they're not, I think they're just not firing right now. Like Kevin De Bruyne is off his game, like Cancelo, I don't know what's going on there. Jack Grealish just stepped up a little bit, but I mean, it's taken him 2 years to be able to cross and assist. It's just I don't know what's happening with that situation. So for me, I feel like we have a good chance, of course, like we do. The momentum is there. We're on a winning streak. Like morale is really high, and I think one of the biggest things that we have is Casemiro. I mean, talk to me nice,
100%.
okay? Talk to me nice. Casemiro is in my team, so I feel like there's definitely not going to get a 6 goals going past us. I don't think that's going to happen, especially not with Leisha there, especially not with Varane there. I think that it's going to be a little bit more solid. But do I think we're going to win? I'm in 2 minds. I feel like it could be a 2-2 draw. That's what I'm thinking personally. But I just think, like, you know, if you listen, I watched the game yesterday and I was looking at the way that Southampton were defending against City, and like Haaland couldn't get a sniff. He couldn't get anywhere. Like they literally like boxed him in, and it was like how we boxed in Kane. So I think if we can do that, then we've got a chance. And I noticed that the Southampton were really good on the counter attack, and they had City pinned a few times. So I mean, listen, they were
through.
Our crowd are going to be up for it. It's a derby. We're going to be really giving it. The atmosphere is going to be incredible. And I just think that the way the players are playing right now, the camaraderie, the morale, it's just, yeah, they're going to give it their all. And the thing is, what I'm looking forward to is the fact that I know they're going to give it their all, and I know they're going to fight. And that's the difference between watching it last season and now. So for me to go into that, I think is fine. And also, I would also add that I don't think us beating City is like a measure of our success of our season. I think that it's just going to be good to see what has Eric Ten Hag learned from the last time he faced Pep. Like, what are the changes going to make and who's going to bring on? I think personally, you should start with Fred. That's what I think. I think Fred, Casemiro, and Bruno in that midfield, and I think we'll pretty much hold them. My midfield is decent right now. I'm happy.
Oh, it's interesting you say all that. We've got a few more comments just pumping through, so let me quickly go through them. Football and fitness, he says, Reds, mate, don't be silly. City
always
form like Wi-Fi, you know, my Wi-Fi. I switch over to my phone Wi-Fi, by the way. That's really so. Great result last night. Let's all laugh at City. Jesse from Stoke says City are overrated this season. Dancing with Devil says Casemiro's a don and needs the difference this time round. We didn't have him playing. We had McTominay. This time it's him. Andy G says Haaland is our rude, great goal scorer, but everything goes through him, so the team is weaker. I totally agree with that, and I was going to mention that in a second with you guys and see what you think. But before, let me finish this off. Shinju Yugin says Manchester United desperately need a central midfielder now because we are still in all competitions. If any of our central midfielders got injured, then it's hard to control our midfield. 100% there as well. Dancing with the Devil says Martinez will have Haaland in his back pocket. Trust me. Great show, guys. Cammy says Man City will be totally different opposition on Saturday. This is the thing, yeah. I was actually thinking about this. You know, when Haaland's in the side, he kills it. Yeah, he does score goals for fun. But I feel like something is taken away from the City when he's not in the side as well. I feel like they've scored much more goals when he's not there, and then the goals are spread around. I don't know. It just feels like they're not as dangerous a side. I don't know what it is, but in my mind, I'm thinking that. But I know, Garth, you're looking at me like I'm mad, so I want to seriously think. Because,
for a start, Man United were only ever a stronger team when Ruud van Nistelrooy was playing, so I don't agree with the initial statement. There was never a Man United were weaker with Ruud van Nistelrooy play. He's got 150 goals in like 190 games or whatever it was, and we won everything. No, but it started from the comment about him being Ruud van Nistelrooy and the team was weaker. Haaland, no, nonsense talk. Again, it's nonsense talk. Man City aren't weaker with Haaland in their team. There's not. Yeah, everything goes through him. I'll agree, but that's the game plan now. And the man's scored 22 goals in 14 games or something. So the game plan's working. Yeah, they're having a bit of a stumble at the moment because you can't be imperious forever. You know what I mean? And everything. So yeah, they're having a little bit of stumble. But no, I don't agree. I think I think Haaland and Ruben, they're the sort of players that you build your team around. And yeah, exactly. I agree with what Andy G is saying. But I think that's a plus. Like you build your team around that. You build it around it.
Change then. So why do you think they're not getting as many points as usual and scoring as many goals as a team and they're top of the league? They're not top of the league at the moment anymore. So do you feel like it's what do you think's changed the reason why they're not getting that?
First of all, what is the actual league table? Are they definitely not getting as many points as last season, or is it just that Arsenal have only lost one game and drawn one game, are absolutely bombing form? Because that is where I'd start with that question. I don't know. I don't think that they're second. What are they? 5 points off top.
They've had 2 losses and 3 draws this year. I'll have a look at last year while you're talking. Carry on. And
yeah. They're doing a little worse, but it's just a little worse. Bottom line is, if Arsenal weren't doing what they're doing, Man City would still be top of the league again. Arsenal are running away, but they're doing really well. Amazing performances from them. You can't take anything away from them. But it's not that Man City are playing awful. I just think they've had a bit of again, I didn't see the game last night, but it's the League Cup. Sometimes you see it with teams, they're just not up for a cup game. They just beat Chelsea 4-0, didn't they? I know Chelsea are doing nothing, but I don't get it. No, listen, I'm not listening.
Yeah, you know what?
Man City.
You know what, Garth? 17 points. They play 17 games. Last year they had 13 wins, 2 draws, and 2 losses. So they've actually got 12 wins, 3 draws, and 2 losses this time. So they actually was on 39 points last year and on 41 points this year. Arsenal would still be ahead of them. They're at the same points.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Arsenal have lost 1 game, drawn 1 game. They're absolutely smashing it. So to compare it's not fair. Man City would still be top of the league. Like if Arsenal weren't doing this, then it'd be Man City up there. You know what I mean? Look at Liverpool. They're falling apart. Chelsea, it happens. But no, Man City, I'm not feeling as confident as everyone else seems to be here for Saturday. I think we've got a chance because we're much better. But it's still Manchester City. They've got the best team. I'd go as far as to say world football, man for man. Like literally every player. Yeah, every player. They've got double every player for the pitch. You know what I mean? When you can have Riyad Mahrez as a sub, when you can have Jack Grealish as a sub, mate, it's ridiculous.
Somebody agrees with you, Garth. Cammy says I agree with Garth on the fact City aren't doing much wrong. It's just Arsenal have lost only 1 game all season. I'll just quickly go on the last 2 before we go to Hakeem. Haaland gonna break all goal scoring records, but City gonna win NAF all season. Andy G says teams IMO are always better when they can spread the goals around, harder to defend against. Come on over to the Paddock. Seeing you over there, Nathan, was good to show. I'll come over from Paddock. Thank you, Downton with the Devil. Nice to see you over here. But Hakeem, what you got to say on all of this, and obviously what your thoughts on the derby as well. So just don't get away from the point too much. Yeah, go on.
So I think that on the Haaland thing, I think Haaland's obviously like a what do they say, a generational talent. So I can't see how any team's going to be worse with him in it. However, I do think that Pep, in my opinion, destroys strikers. I can't think of many strikers that Pep has that are better by the time they finished playing with Pep than they were when they started. I can list off a whole raft of players who are absolute top quality, but Pep, and I'm not saying Pep's a bad manager before anyone says anything, but the way he plays football doesn't really work with a central striker. Haaland is so good that you can't really tell him to play any different way because he just bangs goals. But that's an aside. I think that you could do a whole podcast on that. But in terms of the Man City game, to be honest, I'm not really bothered what form United are in or what form City are in. City have won, I think we've won 3 in the last 12, 13 derbies. And even when we were in our pomp, winning everything, City would still come and give us a good spanking. So I go to a derby knowing that we are better than we have been, but I never have any expectation. Because as I said, the amount of time that I sat in the stands when we were just smashing everybody out of sight, and sure right Phillips would pop up and score a couple of goals. And you're thinking, bloody hell, how's that happened? You know, so I never sit comfortably in derbies because we just don't perform that well in them, and we haven't for like 30 years.
That's a great shout.
Well, you know what? Just one of them things. It does. You're damn right. It's not even about the record or what you've been doing recently. It's just City, and any given day, if they score first, we could be down 3-0 in 10 minutes. Like, it could be easily as that, could be over. But if we score first, I feel like we'll win the game. It's just one of them things where City are one of them sides, but if they can just keep the ball for fun and make you chase, and then you're tired, and then when you win the ball, you can't even do nothing. So let's just hope Erik ten Hag, because look, he's known to do the right thing this whole time this season so far. Every single move he's made, look at the ratings we've been giving, Garth. Every single week, it's like 9, 10, 10, 10, 9, 10. He's made the right decision every time. He's going to have done his homework, and he's going to pick the best possible side to beat this side with no other thoughts involved. No, like, I've got to play this other player.
I agree with you, Nathan. What happened the first time Ten Hag come up against Pep with his team?
I think he went with McTominay and...
But didn't we have Casemiro by then as well? And he didn't play Casemiro. So I've just got to say, he doesn't get everything right every time, man, as I'm saying. And it's Man City. For me, Pep is the best tactical manager in the game, and he would have done his research as well. And I just don't think that a draw. I think we can win. I'm not saying we can't. I'm not like, yeah, we're gonna go and win. You know what I mean? It's Man City at the end of the day, mate. I agree with Hakeem.
The thing to me,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
we've been battered by Man City teams that are nowhere near as good as this team when we were 100 times better than we are currently. So that's why I don't. We can definitely win. But I'm not going
trying to be positive here, guys. What's wrong?
I'm being a realist.
Realism.
I don't know, but I think there's been so many times, even when they've had Pep, that like the time we had Mourinho, we went to City and they were meant to win the league and we beat them then. I mean, it's like, it's all about, yeah, we can say he's the best, like, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was saying, you can say he's good. Pep, huh? Is he?
Solskjaer took him out on a few occasions on the trot, like every game.
Is Nathan in a different?
Yeah, I know. You in a loop or something, Nathan?
Did you
I
hear
think
him?
you're about 3 minutes behind us, Nathan.
I think what he's saying is we beat him 3 times in a row with Solskjaer in the team. You're cracking up bad, Nathan, mate. You're cracking up well bad, mate.
Because I was just saying, like, yeah, he's Pep is a good tactician. He's one of the best ever managers, but that doesn't mean that Erik ten Hag isn't just as good and can't find a way to create a solution or solve a problem when he's playing and watching the game. I think that he's really grown into his role, and I also feel like it's a derby, and I feel like these players are going to be up for it. I'm not going to say that they're going to win because I still feel like City have the edge for me. I know that they're going to turn up. I know the Southampton game yesterday, people think, oh, but no, City will turn up against us. They're going to play their full strength team and it's going to be on, which is going to be great for everyone. But I still feel like we've got a chance. I feel like with Rashford firing the way he is, I don't think Kyle Walker's going to be able to keep up with that. I really don't. I feel like City's defense right now is not 100% great right now. I just don't.
They're all over them.
I think we can get them on the counter. I really think that. And I think if we can keep Haaland contained, then that stops that threat. And where else? Like, you know, Foden's not been so great since he's come back. I'm thinking Grealish. Yeah, Grealish is a threat, 100%. But then at the same time, I still feel like we've got the players that can sort that out. And I think Casemiro is going to really show us and show everyone like why we spent 70 million. That's all I know.
I'm excited.
I'm worried.
I'm
worried and excited.
Oh, Nathan's at it again. Yeah. So, go on, Nathan. We'll wait for 5 minutes for you to finish.
Someone needs to.
Frozen. He's frozen now. Go on, Hakeem, mate. Yeah, go on, Hakeem, bro.
Am I really frozen?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, that's a great look at that picture. That's a great screenshot.
I wish you took that picture. That was funny.
You need to stop.
Oh no, guys. Let's leave me alone. Carry on.
I didn't know this was a comedy channel.
There you go. Oh dear, oh dear.
Oh, you're back.
He's back.
You guys are killing me, man. What's going on? What's happening to my internet? I don't know, man. I ain't paying my bill. That's what's happened.
Yeah, get 50p in a meter, mate. Get 50p in a meter. Come on.
Oh my god.
Oh God, get a go.
Stop laughing at me, man. Stop laughing at me.
We're laughing with you, Nathan. We're laughing with you.
Yeah, you know.
Screenshotted it, by the way. I screenshotted it so we can put it up later in the group. Don't worry. Carrington Kids says Pep is a genius, but we can beat them. Where's the positivity? Andy G says Pep tries to be too clever sometimes. Let's hope it's.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, yeah, Nathan's on dial-up. I'm on AOL dial-up as well.
He's got the free trial. If you're old enough to remember that, he's got the 2-month free trial on disc, mate. That's what's coming.
I'm a mess, mate. But we'll get the internet. I'm getting updated.
Listen, I'm not being pessimistic. I'm just being realist. I think we can beat Man City. I think all of us here are saying the same thing. We can beat Man City 100%. It's just they've just got knocked out of the cup. And always a wounded animal. You never want this would be the worst time to play Man City for us right now. I think I really do. So,
or the best time because they're so angry that they're
flip of the coin. Yeah, flip of the coin. Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah.
Yes. Big Ben. Love it, Big Ben. By the way, so many nice to see so many new faces in here. Thank you for joining the show. Thank you for watching us. I ain't going nowhere just yet. I just wanted to say thank you. Appreciate it. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. And you're already subscribed as it is. Hit that like button for me, please, because it helps the algorithm. And that's what Jeff said. Would you stick with Casemiro, Bruno, and Eriksen, or would you change it up? I'm sticking with the same. I'm sticking with our strongest 11 and going, listen, let's see how far we've come since the last game. Let's see what we've got. I would go, here's my starting lineup, by the way. Then Garth, then Hakeem, and Alex. And give your starting lineup. And then we'll do our what the score's gonna be. I'm going with De Gea in goal, Wan-Bissaka right back. I'm going with, of course, Varane, Martinez, and Shaw. And I'm gonna go with Casemiro, Eriksen, Bruno, Rashford, Martial, and Antony. That's what I think's gonna happen. Garth, what are you going with?
Yeah, no, that is the team. That's the first team. I was interested. Alex obviously said she'd play Fred. I can see it. I can see why as well. That extra energy in the midfield. But I think watching us against. I know we ended up 3-0, but watching us against Charlton, the moment we lose Eriksen, we lose that control in the centre completely. So it's a real fine line in it. I could go either way, Fred or Eriksen. But apart from that, it's exactly the same team for me, Nathan. Fred or Eriksen. So.
Okay. Malacia not plays, right? He doesn't play.
No. If you've got your strongest back line, you play your strongest back line. Or for me anyway, you definitely play Shaw, Wan-Bissaka. If Dallow's fit, I'd actually play Dallow. So but I think he's not fit. Yeah.
Hakimi, what are you saying, Hakimi? What you got?
Yeah, no, I'm exactly the same with you and Garth. I think it's I think Eriksen just holds the ball up better, and then in terms of controlling the midfield, Eriksen can turn over the ball and he can do something with it. Where Fred is very good. I mean, it depends to me on what they're playing, because if we're supremely confident, I'd go with Eriksen. If we think, actually, there's something in it that's going to give us a bit of, we just need to hold for the first half to make sure that we don't lose a goal. Because as you said, if we go down 1 goal quickly, we could quickly go down to 3 goals. So in that scenario, if you're thinking of the negative scenario, you put Fred in, because Fred will probably prevent that from happening. Whereas if we're going to go and say that actually we just want to go and win the game and take it to them, then I'd I'd put Eriksen in. So I'd have the same thing, to be honest. But yeah, just as Garth said though, if Dallow is fit, definitely bench.
Alex, what are you going with?
So I'd make a couple of changes there. So I'd have the same back. Well, I'd have Dallow definitely. So I'd have Luke Shaw, Martinez, so that back line, and obviously De Gea at the back. I would have Casemiro, Fred, and I'd have Bruno. And I think the reason, Eriksen. And I think
no, Bruno.
No. Wait.
Nice.
So I'd have those guys there, because I think that Fred will give the liveliness. I think I'd have Eriksen there, obviously, for the line breaking passes and just the control of the game, the vision, and obviously Casemiro there to like mop everything up and to make the transitions really smooth. I'd have Bruno on the right, and I'd have Rashford on the left, and I'd have Martial up front. I think it just gives it just a different dimension, and I think that having Bruno that far higher up the pitch, like just a bit more creativity as well in that position, and I think that he can be roaming as well, so it's not just that he's confined to that position. And I think that him and Eriksen, that partnership, can really like play more up the pitch for us and potentially just get more goals. Well, that's game. But
can I just ask Alex? Have you seen Bruno on the right for us? Because he doesn't play very well out there ever.
I mean, the thing is, but he's been doing it. I know that you say he's not, but I think that he's. I think his overall game is changing under Erik ten Hag. And
100%. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I think that it's something that he can do, and if it becomes an issue, then obviously we can Ten Hag can then switch it up. But that's the team that I think he should go with.
Antony on the bench.
That's
you know
fair.
what we've forgot? You know who we've totally forgotten about? Who's playing well every week at the moment? Garnacho. We're not even thinking about him anymore. We're thinking
That's a sub for me. Yeah, that's a sub, mate.
I've been a lot of pressure. I've been asking a lot of pressure to put on a young lad like that. And against Manchester City, I would have on the bench, perfect impact sub, tiring legs, confidence,
100%.
putting at them. I think to start it.
Well, to be fair, I think bringing on Fred and bringing on a like Garnacho and bringing on a lots of Weghorst.
That's what I was about to say.
That'll make a massive difference for us. It'll be nice.
100%.
Nice to see that, to be fair. I think that's going to be a great way to switch it up as the game goes along and give us different dimensions, which City wouldn't have thought about. But I'm like interested to see what this Pep's talking about though. With I'm gonna come with some next tactics that I've never, like. Did you see what he wrote?
He's probably going to play back.
Yeah, he said something. I wouldn't get deep into that. It's mind games. Like,
I'm going to throw this out there as well about obviously defensive midfielder. I saw Casemiro holding a Brazilian line on his own with 5 strikers in front of him in the World Cup in a couple of games. So literally 5 forwards, Casemiro, 4 defenders. You know what I mean? So I can see him doing it. You know, but I agree about it. It's a real fine line depending. It's what Hakeem says. Do we sit back and try and soak it up a little bit and then hit them on the counter? That's Fred, 100%. Or do we go at them from minute one? Go at them. Then for me, it's the standard team. So I can see either or. I wouldn't be surprised either way.
Yeah. The other one thing about Pep's comments.
I'm planning something ridiculous for Man United. That's what he said.
Yeah, but what I mean is, Pep, in all the time he's been manager of Man City, has never said anything like that before because he's so confident. The fact he's now started to play mind game means he's concerned about what Erik ten Hag's got for him because he's never had to play mind game before because he just comes and thinks we're going to win because we're better.
Yeah, true. But look, let's get your final thoughts on this score. What's the score going to be, Garth? What's the score going to be, Hakeem?
Well, after everything I said, you know me, mate. I never go bad. It's 2-1 Man United. I'm going with. It's going to be a brace from the key man at the moment, Marcus Rashford. So 2-1 United.
Hakeem, what you got?
I'm torn between 2-2 and 3-1, but I'm going 3-1 United.
Okay. And who's going to score? Who's the goal scorers for United then?
I think Rashford's going to score 2, and I think that Martial, my arch nemesis, is finally going to come good and score 1.
Alex.
Your arch nemesis.
Alex, what you got for us?
I have got 2-2. That's what I have in my mind. And I think Rashford, and I also think Bruno is going to score this time round, just because of the way that I placed them in my head.
Okay.
Master tactician, I like it.
I've gone with a 2-1 victory, and I can see Rashford getting a goal. I can also see Martial getting a goal. No, actually, you know what? I'm switching that up a bit. Rashford's going to score, and Weghorst is going to come on and score.
That'll be nice.
Yay!
That'd be a dream. Yeah, that'd be a dream. Comes on and scores the winner. Colt hero immediately, mate. You know it. Colt hero immediately.
He's been like a Wayne Rooney figure now, comes on and scores on his debut. Yeah,
it's gonna be lovely. We've got another call. Steve says 2-1 City, but I hope I'm wrong.
We're coming for your top spot, Steve. We're coming for you, mate. Don't worry about that.
What we got here? 2-1. I'm agreeing with Garth. Dance with Devil says Bruno and Rashford. Andy G says he started to talk about United before the Southampton game. Eye off the ball, complete madness. 2-1 United. Pep may play.
They never really. I'm thinking about how many goals they put past us at Old Trafford in like the past few years. They've not really put that many past us at Old Trafford. So yeah,
No, they haven't. So I hope we can do the job. But look, guys, we are 10 minutes over time. So that's all we've got time for this evening. Thank you, Gar. Thank you, Hakeem. And thank you, Alice, for joining us. Thank you, everyone in the comments. You've been absolutely amazing. This has been Let's Talk United. Thanks for watching. See you all next week. Peace out.